gentlemen. Monroe Mann here, Emily Appel. Both of us, well, I guess she's on this side. Um, both of us here from Break Diving. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, download our mobile app, visit us at breakdiving.io on the web. And today's topics: finding a solution, overcoming stress, and one day at a time.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So that first part about just finding a solution, it sounds, well, what the heck is that about? I think there'll be a time in everybody's life when you are literally everything is coming at you and you have no idea how to solve the problem because it's just completely overwhelming you, and you just feel like, why is this happening? And that is, I've been in that situation many times, and it is not easy. Have you been in that? Have you felt any intense like feelings of being so overwhelmed because everything is coming at you and it's too much, too little time, not enough resources, not enough help, and
Def-
no solutions?
yeah. I definitely feel like I felt that after my accident when I had a pretty large workload and no time to catch up and lots of new things started. So definitely have been there.
Yeah, it's not a nice feeling, but I mean there are only a couple things that you can do in those situations. You can give up, which is an option, and it may not necessarily be the wrong one.
Yeah.
Maybe just say, you know what, I I can't handle this. But more often than not, I feel like when you're in that situation, if you can figure out a way to push through it and find the internal fortitude to just say, I'm going to calm down, I'm going to try to take this, as I was saying, one day at a time, one task at a time, one solution at a time,
Yeah.
you can still accomplish, you can handle a lot more than you think you can. But
Hmm.
when it all comes at you in one fell swoop, it is just
Very.
a, what's that?
I was saying very when it comes all at once.
What was the word? Very
Brutal.
brutal. Yeah, very, very brutal. And it's a hard thing. I think the most important thing when you're in that situation is to take a, it sounds so cliche, take a deep breath.
Yeah.
But it's more than just doing the physical act of it. It's about, yeah, I'm just, I'm going through a situation similar to this. I'm trying to put the words based on what I'm dealing with right now. And when you have a overwhelming situation, you can, well, I just put it back on you in your, just in that situation after the accident, and then try to keep everything together. And then doctors probably, what did you do to stay centered and avoid being overwhelmed?
Well, one thing I definitely did was like talk to my loved ones and my support system. I think that like you don't always have to be on your own all the time. Talking to people around you and finding support system really helpful sometimes. Then also, I was kind to myself. I think that I'm very mean to myself sometimes when it's like I have all these expectations of what I would like to done, and I have this timeline of what needs to get sometimes like unexpected things happen like car accidents and I can't account for those things. So being kind with myself and allowing myself to extend deadlines, being able to push through that in times where it really matters. Those are things that
Mm.
I learned from that experience.
Have you had anything even more overwhelming in your life? Is that the most overwhelming situation that you've been in?
Maybe personal problems could be like emotionally overwhelming more than just schoolwork because there's a lot less control in that realm. I think with schoolwork and projects, there tends to be deadlines, so it's a lot easier to be like, okay, this can get done here and I can move this deadline. But when it comes to more personal things that are overwhelming, it's much harder to find to yourself or really see an end to some of the problems.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I think that's the key, is like seeing an end to the problem. I think this is where the feelings of being overwhelmed come from. So many things are hitting you from so many different angles, and you start to you just see this horrible future
Yeah, definitely.
of misery after misery, and there's no solution.
Yeah.
And you feel like that's the situation I'm in now. I feel like there's no good solution, and no matter what I do, it's creating an incredible amount of stress for me. And I was talking to my friend yesterday about it, and just saying, I I feel like this is the most complicated military operation in the history of the world, but I don't have soldiers,
Yeah.
I don't have equipment, and I just like I am this general who has to solve this very logistically complex issue, and you don't even know, even if you get to where you're supposed to go, is it the right decision?
Yeah. That's a
I
huge one.
think that's what's scary too. Is like, what if you spend all of your time, effort, money, and this and that doing this incredible military operation of your life, and then you get there and you say, I got there, I succeeded in doing what I said I was going to do, but uh, it's made the situation more complicated. Um, I would say, again, I'm talking to myself as much as I'm talking to you and to the people watching. Well, actually, let me actually find something. One of my friends in China sent me this little Chinese
Sure. And I think
proverb. I want to share that.
about
What's that? Go ahead.
that's something that you're talking about finding the solution there and like how it might seem endless sometimes. There's a saying that my grandmother used to tell me, and she still does, where she'll say, "There's no," and it sounds a little bit better in Spanish, but she'll say, "There's no problem without solution except for death." And I really do take that to heart times and think about that in moments where I'm feeling really overwhelmed by all the problems that I have in my life. When in reality, yes, they're stressors, but they are not meeting the end of my life. Therefore, it sometimes helps in a way to diminish the severity of the problems in my mind so that I can actually tackle them.
I think that's a key too. When you're feeling so overwhelmed, you're not in a position to solve problems.
Totally, yeah. I think that's a
You-
huge problem.
And I think, like, if you're overwhelmed with something, you have to detach yourself in some way from these feelings, these negative feelings of there's no hope, and this is all going to turn out poorly, because then you're not going to be able to make the decisions. Here, my friend sent me. Life is full of troubles. One can only face them head on, not avoid them. Which again goes back to the Buddhist stuff we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Part of me is thinking, like right now I have this confluence of crap, for lack of a better term. That's my eloquent saying, a confluence of crap, and it makes me. I, I remember when I was younger, I had this encyclopedia of problems of the human body or
Mhm.
something like that, and I would just read that thing and be amazed that my body worked.
Yeah, that is
That
incredible.
that there are so many things that could go wrong with your heart, with your blood, with your lungs, with your muscles, with your bones, with your hair, with and I kind of feel like maybe that's the same thing about the Buddhism thing in the situation. I have this confluence of crap, but maybe I should be surprised that I haven't had this for the last however many 4 decades. Maybe like this is normal,
Totally.
because the struggle of with Buddhism is, again, your life is a struggle, And mm,
I think it's a philosophy for sure, and it lets you take an appreciation even for the hardships and times. But I will say that sometimes it's okay to feel like you're going crazy, and it might sound odd out of context, but I'm of the opinion that this world is very crazy. So people who are out of the ordinary in terms of like anxiety or sadness, I think are having complete normal reactions to what is our reality in many ways. So yeah, I wouldn't diminish your problems as well. I would I would also appreciate yourself for having those reactions and being human in that way.
I'm tired of being human. I, I, I don't want these reactions. Some people are just so numb,
Yeah.
uh, and maybe they're numb to love and to beauty and to all that too. But they also seem to be numb to the problems, and they kind of just seem that happy-go-lucky spirit. And I've always found that I wish that I were not so smart, and I
Mm.
wish my brain were not as high functioning as it is, because I think people who are less intelligent than me
Th-
enjoy life more.
Yeah. It's that idea of like ignorance is bliss.
Ah, I don't know what I have no idea what that expression means, because I have never experienced
An ignorant
I
life.
have I've neither experienced ignorance nor bliss. Ah,
I think I'm
uh,
childhood, there must have been moments where you weren't thinking of those problems.
I think that's what like literally what I'm dealing with right now. All the different things is adulthood time, like magnified times 20. As a child, we didn't have to. Again, there are some kids who have leukemia and struggling, or they lost their parents and at a
Totally.
young age. So it's not a blanket statement that childhood is easy.
For
But
sure.
for most of us, childhood is playtime.
Yeah.
And you just go to school, you do some homework, you go play with your friends, you go to the movies, your parents give you an allowance or give you money to go to the movies or this or that, and you don't think so much.
Yeah.
I feel like the older I got and the more my brain developed, the more I started thinking, and that's when the downfall began.
Yeah, I definitely think there's a barrier between thinking and overthinking. So that whole idea of being in the present versus being a future thinker and how being a future thinker can hurt you more than help you sometimes. So definitely there's a line there and we should be considering that even while we're thinking, maybe stopping
Even when what?
while we're overthinking, stopping ourselves and taking a moment to reframe the things that we're thinking of.
It's such a delicate balance. By the way, if anyone sticks around for more than 10 seconds and wants to give us a like, we'd appreciate it. I'm surprised we haven't engaged with anyone yet who said, you know what, I'm going to stick around and watch these two people talk about the existential problems we all face and how we
Oh,
can best solve them. Thank you for the likes.
thank you, fellow.
Huzzah. And of course, I forgot what you said that I wanted to. I was going to say, what was the last thing you said?
Yeah, I was talking about like reframing your mindset whenever you're overthinking and
Oh,
being
that's what I was saying.
yeah.
It is, it's so, I think is one of the hardest things in life to balance thinking and planning for the future,
Mhm.
but at the same time, living in the present and not overthinking what's going on. Because I feel like I am very good at thinking and planning for the future, but I'm so good at it that it drives me absolutely
Yeah,
crazy.
totally.
And I've never read a book yet that I've read books that tell you to plan for the future, and I've read books that tell you the importance of being present. And but there hasn't been a book that helps you find that happy. How do you find the happy medium that you are? Um, like if you do either one of them
Mhm.
to the exclusion of the other, you're in big trouble.
I agree. There is no balance. Without balance, there's just an extreme of something, and that's never too good.
Yeah, and that's the carpe diem is
Mm.
taken
Thank
to the
you.
extreme. You've got nothing planned for the future. We've got sun in the house. Dreams should be goals, not visions, illusions. I think that makes sense. It should be practical
Yeah.
and maybe try to stay. I guess you can interpret that, son, as stay in the present when you're planning for your future. Is
Yeah.
that kind of what we're talking about? It's so weird. I mean, I have never had such a complicated set of problems in my life trying to, and I hope in 2 months I can say I figured it out.
Yeah.
And but it is very, very hard to find that. Like, if I just focus on the present, well, then I just neglect any of the planning, any of the stuff that's going to solve the problem. But if I
Yeah.
focus constantly on the future, on the future, on the future, I'm not going to make any actions, which only actions can only happen in the here and now.
Totally. Yeah.
Well,
Sun brings up another good point in the comments, or don't picture yourself where you want to be, but how to get there and then live it, which I think is a great point. Thinking realistically and then taking action on that.
don't picture yourself where you want to be, but instead picture yourself how to get there. That does make sense. But again, if you're not picturing where you want to be, how can you possibly plan how to get there? That's this conflicting problem that we're talking about. That if you want to solve the problems, you have to think about where I want to be. You have to picture yourself where you want to be, but you're never going to get there if you don't think right here and now, saying, how am I going to get there?
Well, I
So
think that that could be applied during those moments of like feeling overwhelmed and not being able to find a solution. It's, you already know where you want to be. You want to be done with this assignment or done with this certain moment in your life. So then instead of dwelling on that feeling, it is picturing how to get there and taking it day by day, like you were saying.
what going back to what I said before, and I don't have an answer for it yet. This idea that, what if you think that you're making the right decision and you put a massive amount of effort into doing that, and then you get there and go, oh my gosh, I screwed up big time. This was not the right decision. I should have done nothing. Or
Yeah.
what's your take on that? Are you a millennium? A millennial? What are you?
No, I'm a Gen Zer actually.
Gen Zer. All right, I'm a
Yeah.
Gen Xer. So from Gen X asks Gen Z. Oh, that could be a name of this show too.
Gen X be Gen Z.
Gen X v Gen Z. All right, so Gen
Yeah,
Z.
well,
What do you have
real
to say
quick,
about that?
I'll respond to Sun's comment. I want the third floor. I don't picture being on it. I take the stairs or the elevator. This is a fun channel. Thank
Ah,
and
thanks, son.
like, got
So
all three.
is the millennial a millennial's older than you, right?
Yeah, just by one.
Okay, so son, I'm guessing you're maybe. I'm gonna guess 25 years old. Let's see if I'm right. And son, I'm Generation X. See if you can guess how old I am.
So Monroe,
Um,
to answer your question, when you're saying that you had made a mistake, and even if you got there and you went through all the steps, suddenly you're in the wrong position. I would genuinely just say be kind with yourself and don't beat yourself up over something that you can't really change anymore. Sometimes we make decisions when we think that they're best in the moment, and that's okay. And we always do have time. I think that comes back to the idea of being grateful for just being on that floor or being wherever you made it because of your effort. I would just be kind to yourself.
I guess that's the best advice. It's like you're gonna make mistakes, and all the decisions that you make in life are not gonna always work out. And so what's the best you can do is say, oh
Right.
well, I did my best.
You did, and you
Let's.
effort to get there, and so now you can find a new plan and make a new goal, and that's okay because that's all part of life.
Mm. 34 years old. Ah, so millennials are a little bit older.
Yeah, for
Mm. Okay, so what that doesn't make sense. Well, what's after millennial is Gen? Wait, Gen Y? No, there's another
alpha.
one.
Gen Alpha
Gen Alpha.
is
Then
after.
there's Gen Y, and then there's Gen X. Is that right? Wait.
No, I'm not sure. I know that it goes millennial, X, and alpha. I'm not really sure.
Millennial.
Millennial.
Well, no, Generation X. I'm older than all of them. Generation X and Alpha are younger than. No, excuse me. I'm Generation X. I know Generation Y, Millennial, Alpha, and and Z are all younger than me.
I think before millennials is baby boomers is the term.
No, baby boomers are older than me. They're the ones before Gen X, I think, right? Oh, your mouth is moving, but I didn't hear
Yeah,
your voice.
no, sorry, my my roommate just came in, so I was just
Oh,
letting her know.
oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I didn't know if there was one between baby boomers and millennials.
Hold on,
We'll
let's
find.
let's find out real quick. Uh, let's see. Hi, what are all of the generations from Generation X? No, excuse me, starting from the baby boomers until today.
Sure thing. Let's run through them. So, starting from the baby boomers, we've got the folks born roughly between 1946 and 1964. Then you've got Generation X, those born for about 1965 to 1980. After that, we've got the millennials, or Generation Y, typically born from the early 1980s to the mid 1990s or early 2000s. Then we've got Generation Z, usually pegged as those born from the late 1990s to the early 2010s. And the youngest group is Generation Alpha, which includes kids born from the early 2010s onward. Let me know if you want to dive deeper into any of these.
So, and you're Generation Alpha?
No, so I'm Generation X.
You can't be Generation X. I'm Generation X. Generation X stopped in 1980.
Oh my goodness, I had a brain. There we go. Yeah, I would not be Generation.
Don't feel bad that you're confused. I am still, even though he just told me all of them, I'm still confused.
I
But
have
it was baby boomers, then Generation X, then
Son,
it said was millennials, Gen Y,
yeah.
then Son. Do you remember? She's Z.
Son's got me in the comments. He knew.
So you're Generation Z. Oh, that's right. That's what you said before.
Yeah, I think Son actually spelled it out. So he said boomers, X, millennials, Gen Z, and then Alpha.
And then Alpha. Okay. Oh, so there's a group younger than you. So what are they in high school now?
No, I think elementary school. I want to say, or
Oh, so Z goes quite young still.
yeah, I want to say. I'm really not sure. Early 2000s is what they were saying in what your.
So here's the problem. If we're a Gen Z now, what happens? Oh, wait, no, excuse me. Oh, then it went to Alpha. What's the next one going to be? Is Beta?
We'll find out, I suppose.
And I'd like to know who makes these up. Who named this? Went from Boomer to X to Millennial Y to Z to Alpha. This is nonsense.
We'll find out.
Very nonsense. Hi, Bare Necessity. How are you? She is Gen Z. That's what you tell her.
Please correct me.
You graduated. You said you graduated 2009, but what does that mean? From middle school, from high school, from college? I imagine you mean high school. I graduated in 1995 from high school. When were you born, Emily?
I was 2004.
That's something. There's something wrong with people who were born after 2000. I mean, that's just weird. Very. It's very weird, Emily. It's very strange. Son, if you graduated 2009, so you were born maybe, let's see, 1999. You were born around 1989? Or no, 1991. Am I right? 1991?
We'll find out in the comments.
We'll find out in the comments. That is true. It's funny how we ended up talking about this.
You were right.
Nah! Boom.
That mental math's still going.
I got some mental math. Yeah, I actually forced myself, like in this age of AI. I didn't used to do this. I used to always just use a calculator, but now because of AI, I'm so sensitive to brain rot that I try to do whatever, like with the break diving watch time. By the way, we have 176 hours of watch time to go when the channel gets monetized.
Awesome.
Oh, so we're getting there. Phase one, which is the fan funding, where you can get super chats and gifts. We need to get to 4,000 hours if we want to get the ads. And
So
I'm still what?
would we still be in retroactive hour loss after the October?
October 21st is Judgment Day,
Oh
and
my.
and that's when we're gonna start to lose hours as we get them. And that's why I was talking to this guy who's one of my moderators on my own channel
Mm.
about, do I really want to keep pushing actively to get to 4,000, or do I just let it go? And he said, no, let's keep going. If you got to 3,000, you can get to 4,000. But I'm really concerned that, I mean, the algorithm was so different before that
Yeah.
there were some times when we would get 40 or 45 hours of watch time in a day. Um, and now we're getting 15 to 20 hours of watch time, which means we could potentially be, uh, if we lose 40 hours and gain 20, we still lost 20.
Yeah. We're still at a loss overall, which
We'll
makes
still have lost the world. So I don't know. We're gonna have to, I guess, take it day by day, as we were talking about on this channel, on this topic, is take it day by day, one day at a time. Was it
right.
one day at a time or take it day by day? What did I say in the?
One day at a time might have been actually the exact phrasing.
But was that the other day or in the title of this? Take it.
There was a difference between the two. Do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, there was. Well, one at a time. And take it day by day. One day at a. There was. I did have a distinction, but now they sound exactly the same. Uh, but either way, it's okay because we're thinking about. Um, Sunset, there isn't always anyone here, but everyone's always nice in this channel.
That's the
Yeah,
point of I think they
yeah. We don't have a huge fan base, but we do have a kind fan base. So when the people come, that everyone's kind, and when hey, we're happy you're here, son. So don't even feel like uh,
think
you are.
community
What's it?
as I was saying things are even better in the community as well. Son, feel free to join at breakdiving.io or on the mobile app. We have a community there and we do monthly meetings in addition to other events depending on what community you're in. But if you're looking for nice people to meet, breakdiving is the site for you.
Yeah, and we got a Zoom meeting coming up, a breakdiving power for the month of October. We're all getting together on Zoom to talk about our accomplishments for September and what we're trying to accomplish in October. If you'd like to join, come and check us out at breakdiving.io. But again, the one day at a time, or take it day by day. If you don't do that, you're going to the again. It depends how ambitious you are. It depends the time frame on how much time you have to accomplish something, how many things need to be accomplished in that time frame. But if you just let it overwhelm you because you're thinking too much about, oh my god, oh my god, I can't do that, it's going to drive you absolutely crazy. And so that's why we're talking about, you got to do it day by day. You've got to tackle, what's one thing that I could do that'll solve this. Or what I often do is, whenever I'm super stressed by being overwhelmed, I'll make a list. What are all the things that I need to do in order to make this actually succeed? What do I have to do? And then when you do that, put them in order. Which
Definitely.
one needs to happen first? Which ones can be done simultaneously? Which ones can I delegate to somebody else? Sometimes just getting a grip of all of the things that have to happen make it a little bit
Definitely.
easier.
Yeah.
Um,
List and Sun was saying they own a small business and scheduling is key. So definitely falls into that. Time management is very well, you have to be your own boss in life sometimes and it's hard to set deadlines for sure.
on that note, I have a TEDx that you guys can watch on YouTube. It's called "I Am the CEO of Me Inc.," which echoes what Emily just said, and Son echoes what you said. As a small business owner, scheduling is key. And guess what? There will come a time, if it hasn't already, when you're something like 12 things are going to go wrong on the business at exactly the same time.
Mhm.
And that is the time when you remember what we're talking about here. Take a deep breath, take it one day at a time, write down what are all the problems that are going on right now, and try to just get a handle on that. The Konami code to like, oh, Emily doesn't know what the Konami code is. She's never even heard of the Konami code. Uh, would you like to know what the Konami code is,
Yeah,
Emily?
know.
So there's a when Nintendo first came out with the Nintendo Entertainment System in the mid '80s. Konami was one of the big game manufacturers.
I think I can picture the logo for some reason.
It's possible, and they became known as Konami codes because you would put this special code in and you would get unlimited lives, or you'd get unlimited money in the game or something. So he's saying the Konami code to life is this: beliefs. Now, is this greater than or leads to? Because that little symbol there can mean one or the other.
I would
But
say greater than.
leads to,
Oh, we'll find out. Sun can respond.
beliefs lead to thoughts, thoughts lead to feelings, feeling leads to habits, and habits lead to results. I think that makes sense. Leads to. Yeah,
Le-
beliefs lead to thoughts. That's something that is fascinating. The truth is, like, our feelings, the way that we feel, our emotions, if you want to say it that, they are always preceded by a thought. And
Yeah.
that's just it's hard to comprehend that. You even if it was just a split second and your brain didn't recognize what the thought was, but you if your emotion changes, it's because something changed in your brain. Your thought actually you thought something different. What are your thoughts on that, Emily?
No, I think that's interesting. I'm curious if that's something that you studied in psychology while doing your doctorate, or if it's just something that you picked up.
Yeah, oh, it's both. But yeah, it's just the fact that the emotions don't happen by accident. You don't just get angry.
Mhm.
You don't just get sad. And I mean, even during this discussion here, we've all had different emotions, whether we recognize it or not. Maybe something I said made you laugh, or maybe it brought back a sad memory, or this or that. But it's not what I said, it's the thought that that was created in your brain after I said something,
Yeah.
or after I say something, and then all of a sudden my brain is thinking, and then the next thing is we've got an emotion. Son says, I am a life coach and CBT therapist. Plus, I own a contracting business. So hey, you know all about what we're talking about here. CBT is cognitive behavioral therapy,
Mm.
which is along the lines of what we're talking about. CBT focuses on basically reframing the thoughts that go into your head. If you're
Yeah.
constantly saying I'm a loser, well then that's going to manifest as a negative emotion in there. Same thing, if I can solve this problem, I am strong enough to solve this problem. I hope I can believe it. Hey,
Yeah.
we've got a few hearts there. Did you see those two hearts going up on the side?
Very
Now,
cool.
that was very, very, very sweet, and we appreciate that. And what do you mean you have a community? What's the community? Why does Sun say community?
I don't know. I would say
Play in the contracting business. Community. Hmm. Well, if you want to expound on that a little bit more, we would love to. We would love to know. So, what else is on your mind, Emily? Do you have anything else that you were thinking about today? I know you said you went to this career fair.
yeah, I did go to the fair. That was quite exhausting, I will say. The amount of people and the amount of booths was very overwhelming.
The amount of booze.
Booths?
Oh, booths. That's things have changed. Generation Z. Wow.
No, no, your mind is elsewhere, Monroe. I'm talking about studying.
Okay. A lot of booths. So you said the people at the electronics art, there was a long line. Do you
Oh,
think those people, because there was such a long line? Yeah, I heard booze too. Yes, son. I think she had a Freudian slip.
oh my goodness.
So just so you know, we think you said booze.
Y'all are silly.
Do you think those people made any decent connections with the people in electronic arts, or is it merely just like a face to face and then one and done, and they leave and there's no more connection?
Yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard at a certain point to make a real connection. I'm sure maybe some people did if they like put in an extra effort too. Sorry, my yawn.
I, I was like, I'm going to try so hard not to laugh. I'm going to have control over my act. No, no,
Sorry.
I no. Honestly, that's another thing too. Why does that happen?
Why did we yawn?
Not why. Well, no. With the yawn, I think from what I know, it's like we want the brain wants more oxygen, and when
Mm.
you yawn, it really sucks in. It forces you to bring in.
Your yawns are contagious though, which
Yeah, and why is that? I wonder if that's also because of the thought. Like,
oh, it could be,
I
yeah.
wonder if it triggers a thought, like it says, you know what? Oh, I need more oxygen, or I don't know. That's very fascinating. Why is it contagious? Um, so Sun says, when we talk and all think on those thoughts, like you were saying. Do you understand that, Emily?
Not entirely, no.
Yeah, I feel like there's a subject or there's like a second part of the sentence missing. You know, here's the thing. It's not. The problem is that you write something based on what we're saying, but if we don't see the comment immediately, it's out of context. So that's why I said community. Yeah, but what do you mean when we talk and all think on those thoughts, like you were saying? You're talking about how that what we were talking about leads to emotions.
There is a delay too.
Yeah, I think there may be a delay, and
Before my yawn, I was talking about the electronic arts booth and how some people might be making a connection, but
even you just saying that word made me do
triggered. Is
it.
topic so boring to you?
Oh my gosh. And there's a 1 second delay.
Yeah.
Um,
But anywho, I do think that ultimately it was not very much so worth it in the sense that I'm sure the recruiters were looking at the next person in line and how many people they had to get through that after a certain point they're not really trying to listen. And it's just,
um,
uh, I can imagine that they would be tired by the time I got to them.
yeah, it almost makes you think, what's the point?
Yeah, I do agree. But there is a point because there are other people, right? It's not just the electronic arts booth. There are some
Mhm.
people who I can catch on a good moment where I can see that they don't have people behind them waiting. They're willing to spend the extra time to talk. And I would find some people like that. So for that reason, it's a good experience. So
I just wonder from a logistics standpoint, electronics art. I wonder if they knew that they were going to be the star of the event, and why didn't they send 3 or 4 extra people to make it possible for
more people to
more
talk.
students to talk to them? I don't know if maybe it's hard to gauge. Or what they should have done is sent 4 initially, and then if no one showed up, then 3 of them left. Because that's kind of unfortunate when there's a really popular
Yeah.
girl at the dance, and everybody wants to talk to her.
No,
Mm.
but definitely there were just a lot. There's a lot of people in my major. There's a lot of people looking for jobs, and I think that there were a lot of other booths too that were very full that I just wasn't really gonna be able to get to because I knew that there were gonna be so many people that they would just be exhausted by that point, and that connection wouldn't really get me anywhere. So it's just a matter.
Mhm. Hmm. Okay, let's see, son. Earlier when you're talking about how each person has a different train of thought from the same idea, and I was saying that that shared experience is community, left short for the confusion. Mhm. Well, I think that's the challenge too with communication in general. Is we all hear different things, even though the same words are spoken,
Yeah.
and we hear different things, then we interpret them all differently, and then that's where the confusion arises because we think we're on the same page, and maybe we are not.
Yeah.
And by the way, well, today, because I'm super hungry and I haven't. We'll stop in 5 minutes.
Okay, yeah.
After 45 minutes, I want to go get something to eat. I don't know why I'm so hungry, but I didn't really get something.
All good.
Son, where do you live? Are you in the United States or in some other country? And the second person that's here, can you double click the screen so at least we get 2 likes?
We
Come
want to
on,
read.
it says just 1, and we should definitely have 2. You live in Colorado.
Very cool.
Very nice. What city? Are you in Denver? I'm sorry, let's see if we can name cities in Colorado, Emily. Denver?
Aspen?
Aspen? Isn't there another big city in Boulder?
That was my cap. I know those the two in Denver and Aspen, those are my 2 cities.
Boulder. Colorado Springs?
Okay, yeah.
That's where the Air Force Academy is. Let's come up with 5. Come up with one more city for Colorado.
Yeah.
Um, terrible memory jog. But there was a major shooting in Colorado. Where is at a school many years ago? What city was that?
No, I'm not sure.
Uh,
Yes, COS. Colorado Springs, I'm assuming.
is that Colorado Springs or cosplay? Cosplay is the name of a city in Colorado, and they all dress up. Um,
Are you messing with me, Monroe?
of course, I'm messing. Yeah, there's no city named cosplay. I think there should be cosplay Colorado.
Cosmic.
Um,
Just so they can Coco.
Coco, Colorado. That would be a nice one. Coco, Colorado. Cosplay, Colorado. Cosmopolitan, Colorado.
I think we've gotten into like drink names.
I think what's weird, what's weird. You don't get the there's been so much development in the world that you don't get to make new cities and towns anymore.
Mm.
Now that's a shame. You can't go west and create. You know what? We're declaring established. When was the last time a city was established in the United States?
Yeah.
Wait, let's ask again while we're here.
Hey there, Monroe. Good to have you back.
G'day, Mike. Can you tell me when was the last city or town founded in the United States?
All right, so the newest officially established city in the US right now is Mulberry, Georgia. Voters approved its creation just recently, and it's now the newest city on the map as of 2025. So there you go.
And what was the latest city before that?
So right before Mulberry, Georgia, the last city to become official in the US was Mableton, Georgia, which incorporated back in 2022. And a bit before that, we had Empire, Minnesota becoming a city in 2023. So there's always a little lineup of newcomers on the city scene.
Well, I guess my whole theory of history is wrong.
Has been changed. We've got new cities coming out every year, I suppose.
Look at Sun says true small ones pop up pretty often. So very, very interesting. Hi, Amal Richardson. Back to the village. Is that where you're going? Back to the village? Well, I send you back to the village with our little summary here to remind you no matter what you're going through, you can handle it. Number 2, there'll come a time in your life, maybe it's now, maybe it's tomorrow, maybe it's next year, when you're going to be so overwhelmed by something that you are going to feel like there is absolutely no way to solve it. Take it day by day, write out the problem, talk to friends, as Emily said, talk to different family members, whomever, maybe a therapist. Go for a walk and don't give up. Don't give up and believe that there is no solution. And as Emily and I were talking before, even if you get through it and it turns out to be the wrong decision, be gentle with yourself. We all make mistakes. And live in the present, and pick yourself up and move forward from there. Emily, what are your final words that you want to, final
Yeah.
words of motivation?
I definitely think you covered everything. I would just say, like you said, be gentle to yourself, be kind to yourself, and take breaks. Don't forget to do that. And it's important that it's like, okay, you plan something out now. Now you can take a break from that and you can start something else. Sometimes my grandma will take breaks just by switching activities. Even though she's doing a bunch of different things, she's switching whether her hands are moving or whether she's sitting down. She's doing two different things. I definitely think that helps sometimes.
Absolutely. Change your environment, change your perspective. That's why I said go take a walk.
Yeah.
Just get out of the house and go for a walk around the block. That might be enough just to refresh your mind. Son
Totally.
says there's a cool little village that's a group who bought of mine. That's a group who bought a mine in California. Oh, and they
Nice
made a new
job.
city. Fascinating. And that's why I asked Jesus for clarity. That's right. We gotta ask for help. And I don't think we can get through life. I always say I always pity atheists because life is terrible for me as a Christian, and believing in God and believing that I just the thought of feeling like there's 0 point and there's emptiness is God bless them, because if I'm having this trouble in my getting through life, I think it's got to be more difficult for those who don't have a religious foundation. And yes, son, that's a good ending here. That helps to prevent burnout. And in anything you do, no matter how they often, I'll say that a lot of times people don't want to turn their hobbies into their jobs because they fear it's going to take the fun out of it. Because
Mhm.
now it's not something they do when they want to, it's something they have to do all the time. You need to find that happy medium, because if you can do something, get paid to do something you love, my gosh, that is, you've hit the jackpot.
Yeah,
But you do need to make sure you don't burn out and then not ultimately hate doing the thing that you love because you're
totally.
being forced to do that. Nihilism can be tough. Yes, that is true, son. Thanks, friends. Absolutely. We're grateful to have you here. To the four of you here, please click like. And to the people who are
Really
watching
appreciate it.
on a replay, you can join our community at breakdiving.io. BREAKDIVING. What is breakdiving? It's the name of the channel, but it's the philosophy. Don't wait for opportunities to float to the surface. Dive in and make those big breaks yourself. And we have an awesome community with people all around the world at breakdiving.io. Also, you can download our mobile app on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store. So, say goodbye, Emily.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Thanks, guys. See you soon. And thanks as always, Emily. Bye, son.
Thanks, Monroe.